Here's how 3 YouTube creators took different approaches to learning how to produce YouTube videos and got wildly different results. One of them gave up YouTube altogether, another wasted months, and the third one learned it quicker and enjoyed the approach you take can make or break you. Brian was like most YouTube creators. He didn't know anything about producing videos, and the whole thought of it really frightened him. So he started watching a couple YouTube videos on how to create content, but he ignored the most important piece of advice they gave. They told him, just use your smartphone and whatever lighting you have available. But no. Brian didn't listen. Instead, he convinced himself that he needed a fancy camera, a top-notch microphone, and a great lighting system. At the end of the day, he spent about $1,200 to buy all the equipment, and then sadly, reality set in. He realized that making videos also requires a set of skills, not just equipment. Having all that equipment certainly didn't solve the problem for him. All that fancy equipment, in fact, is rather complex, and it made his mission of learning how to produce videos actually more difficult than it would have been if he just used his smartphone. Well, he watched a couple dozen YouTube videos about video creation, and after absorbing all that content, he was left confused and really not certain where he should start. He decided to jump in, and after a few attempts, he got overwhelmed. A few days later, Brian gave up, and I'm sad to say, today, all that expensive equipment just gathers dust in his closet. Hello, fellow YouTube nerds. Chris here to help you launch and grow your new YouTube channel. So hold on to your sombrero. You're going to get a lot of value today. Another new YouTube creator, Claire, jumped in and started making videos right away by just using her smartphone. She was worried she didn't have everything she needed, but she did have a smartphone, a built-in mic, and a free video editing software. That was good enough to get going. Over a few weeks, she told me she had broken down the skill set needed to make YouTube videos into 6 parts. How to use a camera, using a microphone, editing, lighting, creating an engaging background, and getting comfortable on camera. She learned about each one of these and tried to master them. Overall, she spent just as much time taking courses as she had spent putting all that knowledge into practice. Over 2 months, she gained quite a bit of knowledge, but she had only produced 2 short YouTube videos. One of her problems was that she was aiming for perfection, not to learn a new skill. She also realized she had not yet put into practice what she had learned, so she had not yet mastered it. She was overwhelmed and ready to give up when I met her. I told her that she had made the same mistake I had often made when I was trying to learn something new. Gotten too carried away with accumulating knowledge, but didn't actually apply it, so I never became comfortable with it. I told her that she had gone down a rabbit hole and she needed to get clear on her goal, which was to make better YouTube videos. Well, she took my advice to heart and spent about 10 to 15% of her time studying her new craft and spent the rest of her time applying it so she could eventually master it. You see, the big difference between Claire and Brian was this. Claire eventually started practicing what she had been learning, and she had only used the simple equipment she had available at hand, so learning to use it was really not that hard. Miles was completely new to YouTube. He was no stranger to learning challenging things. He learned Japanese, spent a year traveling in Indonesia on a sailboat, he earned a black belt in karate, and he also learned how to fly a small plane. He knew from these experiences that he would definitely suck when starting to learn how to make YouTube videos, but he didn't care. He did not focus on trying to make the perfect video in as short of amount of time as possible. Rather, he focused on 2 things: developing the skills needed to make good videos and enjoying the process. He jumped in and tried to make a video, and sure enough, it sucked. The lighting was off, the sound was bad, but it didn't worry him at all. This was just his first attempt, so he had a good laugh at it, and he kept this video to look back on in the future. After jumping into it just like Claire and watching some YouTube videos about making videos, he also realized that there were some basic areas he would have to eventually focus on. He more or less came up with the same list of skills that Claire did, but unlike Claire, he did not try to master each one as quickly as possible. He learned just a little bit about 3 of them and then applied that to producing 2 videos. Then he went on to learn a bit about another 3 skills and again made 2 more videos where he implemented this new knowledge and further practiced the previous skills he learned about. He repeated the process over and over. Each time he aimed to get just a little bit better. He purposely didn't get frustrated that his videos were a long way off from the ones he saw on his favorite YouTube channel. Instead, he trusted that the incremental approach to mastering his craft would eventually pay off in the future. Instead, He focused on having fun and building upon what he could already do. By the time he produced his 20th video, he was actually pretty good at it. Sure, there was still room for improvement, but by the 20th video, he was more confident and felt his videos were nothing to be ashamed of. If you want someone to show you how to launch and successfully grow a YouTube channel, then subscribe and ring that notification bell so you will get access to all the free goodies that I give away during the first 48 hours after releasing a video. Okie dokie, fellow YouTube nerds, I'm sure you can clearly see now that Miles' approach is the best one. It's also the one that's most likely to ensure that you don't get disappointed and give up. Here are a couple other tips and tricks to help you out. First, set milestones for yourself so you can clearly map out and see your progress. When you set these milestones, don't focus on the number of videos you're making. Rather, each milestone should aim at getting comfortable at one sub-skill in each of the 6 areas. Avoid going off on tangents that suck away your attention and money. It's easy to go down some rabbit holes and want to spend hours developing the perfect background or learn some really advanced editing skills. But it's much better to go slowly, making sure you're focusing your attention only on the basics. The last thing to do is to continue doing it. Don't give up. Don't procrastinate. It's easy to fall in love with the details of the process and fool yourself that you are mastering them by learning about them. Avoid that trap at all costs. Rather, just do them. Your aim is to develop a skill, not gather enough information to write a book on it. What time is it? It's time to reveal today's big enchilada. As I've mentioned before, your first 10 to 15 videos will suck. It's natural. There is no way around it. No one can logically expect to start out with a challenging task and be an expert at it in just one day. Instead, persist, learn from your mistakes, and enjoy the process. Before you jump in and make any more videos or even your first video, watch this to learn a lot of other great tips that will save you months of time.